because I know because I know that we have a lot of families kind of away right now, and again, I know this is a tough time. So thank you all for being here. I know that Disney is like super exciting, and we're really proud that we got accepted again. And I apologize first off for not having a meeting sooner or getting information to you sooner. You know that's not the way that we do things. But it's just been harder this year, like with everything else. And I hate using that excuse of, well, it's COVID, so things are hard. But unfortunately, it's COVID and things are hard. So I wasn't able to get a lot of information from Disney right away. So they took a little bit longer with getting a lot of the information that we needed to me. But I have what I can for now, and we can start to move forward. So I just want to kind of touch on everything. First of all, it is super exciting that we got accepted. It is like quite an audition process. So we're very proud of that. The trip is going to be for all of our seniors and elites. That's our new group of seniors and elites. We're going to take a little bit of a larger group this time. We feel really confident that both of those groups are definitely ready for this. And then as far as our Elite Plus students go, we know that for the high schoolers, it's a lot more difficult sometimes to take the time off of school, especially those of freshmen, starting starting high school. So it's going to be optional for them. So just to touch on that really quickly, if they want to participate, they'll be learning their choreography with Miss Jamie as usual. And we're also going to have a couple of extra rehearsals, which will be on your schedule right from the start in September. So you'll know those dates to where that they can get their staging with the other groups. And if they don't want to participate in Disney because parents don't want them to take the time off of school, they still won't be left out of anything because they'll be learning all the dances that they're using throughout the year anyway. So that's just kind of like the little note about the Elite Plus dancers. And any of you parents can always talk to me more about that separately too, when you're kind of trying to figure out if you want those high schoolers going or not. So that's the first thing. Our workshop was scheduled for January 24th. We do not have a time for that yet. They won't give us a time until about 4 to 6 weeks before the trip. But you can definitely plan on about a half of a day of the children's time taken up for that workshop. The workshop is about 2.5 hours. It is an incredible experience. What these kids get to learn and experience while they're in there is absolutely amazing. And I had so much fun last time being on the other end of it, because I did do this when I was a kid too. And it's worth every second that they're there. But we do need to travel together to and from the event. Parents are not allowed to come to the workshop. Disney is very strict about a lot of those things and about how we are transported to and from events. So just given kind of the travel time and the meetup and everything, you're going to figure they're taking about 3 to 3.5 hours of their day. Still leaves them plenty of time to go to a park that day. Last time, everybody was able to get in half a day in a park, or even split it up and still kind of jam in 2 parks in that half a day's time. So if you really wanted to be doing a lot of the parks and everything, that is still an option on that performance or that workshop day. They try to schedule workshops in the morning, but there is no guarantee of what the time is. So when I know that, you'll know that. The performance then is on the 25th. So that's the following day. Same thing, their performance is about 30 minutes. That's what our time block that we get. But again, they will call us a minimum of an hour before. And that's when they're going to want the dancers to be dressed and ready and be transported to their staging areas. We will be meeting up at the group hotel prior to that to be doing costuming and makeup and all that kind of stuff. So again, you think about 3 hours or so of their day is taken up with that. So still, they have lots of time for the parks. Those can be scheduled, the performances can be scheduled at any point in the day. So I truly have no idea if they'll have a morning show, an afternoon show, but whatever it may be, families and dancers still get some time in the parks. So that's kind of like the logistics of how everything works. So if you're going to be traveling with us, without us, on your own, adding to your trip, whatever it is, you would want to be planning to be down there on that Sunday, the 23rd, because on the 24th, we could be scheduled for our workshop early in the morning. So you don't want to be traveling on that day. You would definitely want to be traveling the day before. And then it is possible to leave on Tuesday night if you want. You are welcome to take a red eye home. But the easier thing being that we don't know exactly what time we would be performing, more logical to leave on Wednesday, the 26th, yeah. So that's that as far as kind of the basics of their day goes. Hotel, we are going to be booking a block at Port Orleans Riverside. It was the hotel we used last time. A lot of people liked it. It was also just a really convenient location for all of our needs with performance and workshop. So we'll be doing that again. The rate for that, the group rate that we have is $240, and that's $240 flat. There is no tax on anything that we have. So if you kind of compare it to the online prices, anything that's listed online, then also has additional taxes and everything built into it too. So, so that's a nice price. The hotel does sleep 4. They do have an option for a 5th sleeper, but it's really more for like a child size. So if you have like a toddler, it's perfect, or even like a small 7-8-year-old, perfect. But bigger kids than that, it's not really conducive to more than 5 people or to 5 people. If we want any rooms with that 5th sleeper though, that is something that we do need to know really quickly because there is a limited number of those rooms. So if that's something that you're gonna want with us, then that I really need to know. And we do need to have a pretty accurate head count for our hotel rooms soon because we do need to get those blocked and booked in. All right, the next thing then is park tickets. So park tickets, all of the dancers are required to have a 2-day starter ticket. So a starter ticket means that they can visit 1 park a day. You can come and go to the park, the same park in the same day, but you can only visit 1 park a day. That's their minimum, and every dancer must purchase through this package because they need to have the performing arts ticket package. So that's that. But again, you can get more than that. You can get the 3-day starter or the 3-day hopper, which allows you to go to multiple parks in a day. So if you're there with your family and you want to jump around to a whole bunch of different parks while we're dancing or meet up the kids and all that stuff, you can get all of that. Again, I did send out that pricing list, and that is actually a really nice discount. For example, the 2-day starter, their performing arts tickets, it's $223. And again, that's flat rate, no extra tax involved. Whereas if you buy a 2-day starter online, it's about $239 plus taxes and fees. So it balances out, and then the discount goes up as the number of tickets goes up, as with everything else. You need to now, which is not a normal thing, but for COVID, you need to have a reservation for the parks that you want to go to prior to attending. So that is something that's new, where normally you can just walk into any park you want at any day. You have to have a reservation. In order for us to make those reservations, every ticket holder, so dancers, family, anybody who's attending, anybody who's purchasing a ticket needs to sign a waiver. And those waivers haven't been sent to me yet. Like I said, they're a little bit slow, but they are sending them to me. And then once we have all the waivers signed, we can purchase our tickets, and then you can start making your park reservations. And you guys will be able to do that all on your own. It doesn't have to be done as the group. So if you're doing something different with your family while the kids are dancing for their workshop, you can make all of those reservations. But the number of waivers that I have must match the number of tickets I'm purchasing. So once I do get that information out to you guys with the waivers and your tickets, I do really need it back and the waiver signed before I can go ahead with purchasing anything. So, so that's that. Then the next thing that I had touched on was the workshop and performance fees. Like I said, Disney requires group transportation. No one is allowed to drive in on their own. Everyone must be coming by even their preferred transportation. So, it's $150 for all dancers, and that covers their busing to and from the workshop, to and from the performance, and their workshop fees. So that's that. And then flights, as I mentioned, we did not look into group flights, and I was not planning to. Last time we had looked into it, and it just wasn't really cost effective, and most people could get better flights on their own by using points or whatever it may be. So we're going to continue to kind of go with it that way. So you're on your own with flights. If a dancer is traveling with just the chaperones and the family is not attending, which of course is an option, then when we purchase the tickets, we will purchase tickets for that dancer as well, and then those fees will be determined at the time. So family is not required to go, but you know, who doesn't want to see their kid dance in Disney? So that's that. And then the final little information that I have is that as far as the COVID and cancellations go, if the parks do close down again, we will be refunded for absolutely everything, for our park tickets and for our hotel and for our workshop and things like that. If we have to cancel because we have sick dancers or we are quarantined or whatever it may be, and we are canceling as a group, we will also be able to be refunded for everything. I don't know what kind of documentation they would require for any of that, but they did say that yes, we would be refunded. And if a dancer only, not the whole group, but if a single dancer is unable to attend because of sickness or quarantine, they will definitely be refunded their park tickets, and the hotel refund would just depend on the hotel and the timeline of when the cancellation is. So it may be a cancellation with a small fee, or it could be a 100% cancellation. That I am uncertain of still. I can't get a totally clear answer about that one when it's a single dancer and the hotel. But tickets, yes, and group, yes. Okay, so that's kind of everything. Please, I see Allison's been fielding some questions here already. So let's see, more than 5 people. Yes, we can definitely get 2 rooms. Oh, and the rooms in the group block are all together, which is really nice. So it makes it really fun. So if you're staying in the group hotel, they're all blocked together. So we take up, you know, a whole balcony of rooms, which is really fun. And I'm sure other people love on performance day when they're out there running around doing all their makeup and we're practicing on the lawn. Go ahead, Laura.
I'm the one that asked about the 2 rooms. So
yeah.
If we did get 2 rooms, like could my family get like 2 connecting rooms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or at least adjacent, if not connected.
That's what I mean. Like just 2 rooms that are next to each other, because
yep.
my kids would obviously be in one of them.
Exactly. And we can even like request, you know, if somebody's going with a chaperone or someone just wants to be next to somebody, all of that stuff, we can actually request exactly where the room blocks, how they're set up.
Okay.
So yeah. And so yes, you can get tickets, all the park tickets. I recommend getting them all through us because of the discount. But you are welcome to purchase on your own. But yes, all family members, everyone attending, you can purchase all the park tickets through us and through our group rates. And that's definitely the best way to go. As far as weather goes, weather is completely unpredictable, even more so than COVID. So we just kind of hope it's not going to snow and we're not going to get stuck. Performances do take place rain or shine though. The stage is covered. It's Disney World, so they're, you know, used to rain and happening all the time. So the performance area is completely covered. So that would still happen no matter what. But that's also the other reason why we, you know, definitely want to get out of New York or New Jersey by Sunday so that we're ready for Monday in case there are any delays. But you know, and I don't know, I know that last time we actually went, there was a group that was scheduled to perform that was canceled because of weather, because they were stuck where they were. So I'll ask about like the refund as far as that, but I don't have an exact answer other than if it's raining, we'll dance. All right, let's see. Will they refund? Let's see. When will the room block? So the room block gets booked straight through me. So as soon as you know how many rooms you want, you just let me know, and that's use that Google form. So just let me know exactly how many rooms. If you want nights before or after the block, they can be added. So I just need to know the exact dates. Like if you want to fly in on Friday, you're welcome to fly in on Friday. Or if you want to stay through the following Saturday, you can do that too. I just need to know the dates. So yeah, so by August 20th, we just need to know how many. Yeah, so the fundraiser is going to go towards this trip. So once kind of everyone's balance is figured out based on how many tickets you're purchasing and all of that, the money essentially will be divided among all dancers attending. So also once I have the accurate head count of how many dancers are attending, it's how I will be able to distribute that. But we did amazing at that fundraiser. Um, we raised, um, we raised 1500, something like that. Yeah. I don't have that in front of me and I should, but we raised over $1,000, which was way more than we expected. So we're like off to a good start already. All right, let's see. I don't know if they'll refund the workshop if it's canceled due to COVID, but the parks are still open, but I will add that onto my list of questions to ask them. All right, so chaperone option. So if dancers, or if the families do not want to travel and they just want to dance, the kids just want to come with us, then essentially that's it. They'll just come with us. We'll fly out, we'll book their flights with us so that they'll be seated with us on the plane. And then we go on as, I think it's called like a, not a guardian, but there's a, Allison, I don't know if I remember the name of what we are called on the plane, but there's something to that effect. So as far as the flying, they're flying under our guidance. And then depending on the number of kids that we have, we would potentially either like group them into rooms with the chaperone head or, you know, and they would be blocked next to us, things like that. And then as far as going out to the parks, we would then be going to the parks with them. So we're going to be out at the parks anyway, and we're going. So when we make those reservations for which parks to attend, the children who are just attending with the chaperones, they would be out with us. And we'll supervise them throughout the parks and everything. And then they would be flying home. And Allison, am I leaving something out there?
Oh, you're perfect. And just so you know, we're traveling with Jill, Jackie, Jamie, and I as the 4 adults. And if you send your kids with us, we just treat them like our own children. We take care of literally everything they could possibly ever need. And they can reach us, of course, any second. They're with us literally all the time. So.
Yeah, and we did have some dancers flying with us last time too. So that's, so yeah, so that's what we do. So it's, yeah, it is the four teachers. Also too, I mean, you would have the option if you wanted to pair them with a family that you know that is going, anything like that can be worked out and arranged too. But if they're with us, then they become my child for the weekend, which they kind of are anyway, so. All right, let's see. Yeah, so the hotel, I think I'm skipping through, but this is great. So the hotel is a Disney Parks resort, which means that it has free transportation to and from all of the parks. So Port Orleans Riverside has bus transportation to every single park, and it has bus and ferry water taxi transportation to Disney Springs, which is where the performance takes place. And all those are still running fully and completely. I even confirmed that with them. And those are still just hop on, hop off, get to and from your parks and your hotel destinations. Okay. There are tons of other spectators for the performance rather than just the families. Last time it's a beautiful, beautiful stage in Disney Springs, and it's right kind of in the center of everything. Last time we only had 13 dancers going, and so that limited number of parents, and the entire staging area was, the entire audience was full, and it was amazing. I couldn't believe how many people were there. So yeah, it's not just like a small little venue like some of the other like theme parks that we do. They are Disney performers for the day, and it is super, super cool. They get escorted by all the Disney security and everything, and it's really very neat. Okay, let's see, weather. We'll talk more about that. You can also yell out if you want while I'm trying to read through the questions. It seems like Allison has hit a bunch of them, so she's the best.
And if we need to book rooms, but then adjust that timeline, the hotel, do we know that?
What's that again?
You can shift your dates for the hotel if you need, you can.
Yeah, so we can add dates before or after our block. So we're requesting our main block to be that check-in on Sunday, the 23rd, check out on Wednesday, the 26th. But we can add rooms before and after. So if you're traveling longer than we are, we can add rooms.
Jill, what about adjusting? So, for example, I'm toying with going down Friday and then leaving like on a red eye Wednesday, like the first flight out Wednesday morning.
Mhm.
But if I book that block Friday night, leaving, checking out Wednesday morning, and then have to adjust that, like, oh, I can't actually make it on Friday. I want to leave Saturday night instead. Will I be still charged for that Friday night room, or is there, are there cancellation options?
Got you. Yes. So it depends on the time. There's a time frame that we can drop and add rooms. And I'll see if I can figure that out. But something like up to 30 days we can drop without penalty. So it's a decent, and I could be wrong, so please don't quote me on the 30, but it is something, we do have a reasonable amount of time before to add or drop. And then after a certain date, if we add or drop, there is a penalty.
Do you know if, I just curious, because you were saying that we're not going to find out the performance time on that Tuesday until closer to the show. Will that line up? Because the only reason why I would leave Wednesday morning is if it's a later performance on Tuesday, because I would prefer to leave on Tuesday. So it's more like that end. Like, I just didn't want to.
Yeah, so they say, last time they had told us about 2 months before we would get our performance time. I'm going to say this time around, we probably won't get it until closer to a month before, just based on how long it's taken me to get other information. But we should know that within a reasonable amount of time to be able to add or drop rooms without.
Okay.
Should.
Can I ask maybe a naive question?
Of course.
Is Disney Springs actually a park? Like, is that our park for the day?
No, Disney Springs, that's a really good question, because a lot of people do not frequent Disney. Disney Springs is there. At one time it was called Downtown Disney. At one time it was called something else, and then something else. And it's now called Disney Springs. It's essentially their shopping center. But they have all the themed restaurants and stores and performances throughout the park, characters in the park and everything still too. So no park ticket is required to enter Disney Springs. So that doesn't use up whatever it may be. Yeah.
Got it. All right, thanks.
Of course.
All right, and then just with the whole reservation for the park system, is it just because I know it's new to everybody, but I apologize for not really looking into this prior to this call, but if, let's say, I reserve Magic Kingdom for Monday and their workshop is in the afternoon, and we go in the morning with the reservations, is it time dependent or is it day dependent? Like, will they still allow you to come and go?
That is a really good question. My understanding is that it is day dependent, not time. And that if you're hopping, once you have your first reservation, you can then hop. But I
might be able to help you with that. I actually was on the phone with Disney for a long time. I happen to frequent the place. If you need to reserve your park for the day, and if you have and you can go in at any point on that day. And if you're gonna park hop, you can hop to the next park after 2 p.m. And you don't need to make a second reservation for the hopper part. So you just have to reserve one park a day. You go into that one at some point during that day. And if you're hopping, then you can do it after 2 o'clock, and it's wherever you want to go.
And you can,
as long as there's, they don't close.
If it's within just like the Magic, let's just say you're a Magic Kingdom for the day, you can still come and go the way you would have been normally then, like go in the morning and then go back to the hotel and then go back for the fireworks at night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you have that reservation for your starter. Yep.
And I'm
Yeah,
also,
that's what they told me yesterday.
I'm also not so familiar with Disney, but are you able also to reserve rides at a certain time once you make a reservation now?
Right now, they're not offering Fast Pass, but they did say that might change. Sorry.
Yeah. That's That's okay. No, no, no. Thank you, Melissa.
In normal
Yeah, so
circumstances.
right now it used to be that you can fast pass and you can do your things, but they stopped that with the limited park entry. Possible that that could come back, but right now you can't reserve rides.
Wait, so if you have like a 3-day park hopper, do you reserve a 1 park a day and then from there you can hop?
Correct.
You can hop after 2 o'clock.
But you have to reserve for each day a park and then from
Correct.
there you can. Okay,
Any park, but you have to.
got it. So great to have so many Disney experts.
Well, can I ask you guys also with the starter park ticket, if you don't get the hopper, does that mean you're stuck at that one park for all 3 days, or can you do a different park each day? You just can't go to multiple parks in one day.
That's it. So with a starter ticket, you can go to any park with a reservation, of course, now, but any one park a day. So you could go to Magic Kingdom the first day, Epcot the next day, Animal Kingdom the next, and you can come and go from the same park in the same day. So for example, last time we went down there, my sister came along and she had Alexa with her. And when we were at our workshop, she took Alexa and my niece to Epcot because that's where they wanted to go. We only had starter tickets. They came back and met us at the hotel. And then we went back to Epcot. So that's, you know, how you work it with a starter to come and go. And then I think we even last time, like we had some families who did sort of similar things. Like the family went to the Magic Kingdom in the morning while we were at the workshop. One parent left the park, came to the hotel, picked up the kid, and then met the rest of the family back at the Magic Kingdom. So that parent was in and out of the same park in the same day. Anything else? You guys have good questions.
I'm curious if there's kosher food options, or we sort of just muddle through it, which we're used to doing, so that's okay too.
There are definitely kosher food options for sure. That was even one of the things that we made sure of at Port Orleans before we booked it the first time around. You know, for somebody who's been to Disney a little bit more than me and keeps kosher can probably speak on it a little bit more. Options, I think, in some places are limited and in some places they're really, really great, but they're all there. There's definitely options throughout the parks.
But my understanding, and we did not go this route, but my understanding is that you it's almost like airplane food that you just have to order in advance, and there's a pickup point in the park, and they get it. There is a kosher restaurant in Orlando that I don't know that they deliver to the park there, but they would probably deliver to the hotel.
Yeah, we had catered in lunch for the girls on Performance Day. And we did it from one of the local kosher restaurants, and the food was really good for that. And, you know, we'll do the same thing. We'll provide a meal for them if we're there with the kids during mealtime for the performance, and it'll be kosher and gluten-free if need be, and dairy-free and all those things. We liked the caterer that we used last time. So if they're still around, we'll still use them. If not, Orlando definitely has tons of them.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
There are a few specific locations where you can get kosher food even without having pre-ordered. But I'll probably check everything before COVID, due to COVID, because it could be different.
Yeah.
It is not quite airline food, but not wonderful. Sometimes just going the yogurt route is a better option.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's that. We had looked into last time too, doing like an organized group event, like they do the dessert parties to watch the fireworks or something like that. We didn't end up doing it last time just because we had a small group and it wasn't cost effective. But we'll look into it again this time once I have some numbers. And if we can't do something kind of catered through Disney, we may try to just kind of arrange our own, like, hey, we're all gonna watch the fireworks here at this park, and we'll bring in some snacks or something. But we would like to have some sort of little group event too, to include the parents and families that are there rather than just the dancers, because the workshop and performance is so I mean, it's amazing for all the dancers together and how much time they get for that. But to be able to have an extra little celebration with the families would be lovely. So we'll continue to look into that. But for now, I'm just kind of trying to get through these basics because it's a little overwhelming. So that's where we're at. Anything else? All right. Well, as the questions come up, because I know they will, give me a call, email, whatever it may be. We're in the office right now because we're still in camp mode. So I'm definitely accessible. So you can call me there. You all have my cell phone. I'm going to send this out so you can kind of watch it again and listen to me blubber on over and over again to check back on any other notes. Go ahead, Shandy.
How many dances are they doing?
So they get a maximum of 30 minutes. So I don't know yet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like 4,
So it's
5, maybe 6.
Oh,
But-
no, I okay. Just wanted to know if it's
Yeah,
not just.
It's substantial. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll definitely be a substantial number. Like they'll do some things where it'll be just the seniors, some things where it'll be just elites, some things where it may be kind of a mixed group of old seniors and elites or whatever, and then like full group numbers. Yeah, it's like a full kind of staged performance. So yeah. Anything else? All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very, very much.
That was very helpful. Thank
It's-
you.
It's gonna be great, and you know, the planning it this time around is a little bit tougher than last time. But if you can all please just, you know, think about everything and kind of get your head counts to me. Let me know. Most importantly right now is, do you want to stay in the hotel? That really is the first piece of information that I need. And then I'm going to need the park ticket count soon enough as well. If you can get all that to me by the 20th, that's amazing. But at the very least, just let me know if you want one of those room blocks, because that is the most important thing that I have to get in soon. And then as far as, like I said, as soon as I get those waivers, I'll be passing them on to you with a whole nother list of instructions again of what we need to do to get those park tickets moving. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
Do you want me to call you, Melissa, or do you want to just ask me now?
I can just ask you now. So I'm crazy and I frequent Disney, and I called on Sunday. I actually booked my flights already. And if you're looking, I got United 3 round trip tickets for $504.
Awesome.
And we're leaving Saturday and coming back Saturday. So 22nd to